when Joe Biden was in office, a lot of people on the right were criticizing him about a lot of the missteps that he made in terms of speech. They said that he accidentally hugged a woman that wasn't his wife and almost kissed that woman, and just a bunch of stuff that we associate with people being old and out of touch and not fully mentally functional. They rightfully criticized him, and that is why Joe Biden had to drop out of the race last year, which was the right call, even though he left a short window for any other Democrat to try to go out there and compete in terms of the presidential race. Biden dropped out because people were criticizing his mental agility. Now that Trump is back in office and he's up there in that same age range as like Biden, Bernie Sanders. Trump, I believe he's 79 or 80. People are watching the stuff that Trump is doing and also associating him with having missteps in his mental ability like they were Joe Biden. So Charlemagne, he goes on The Daily Show, which is a Comedy Central, which is on Comedy Central. And he has a few things to say about Trump, his mental ability, and the fact that he may be experiencing early onset dementia.
But is Trump really losing it as badly as Biden? Let's run through this official list, okay, of dementia symptoms from the Mayo Clinic, all right? Now, first, I want to say that doctors warn it's unethical to diagnose someone you haven't actually examined, but I'm not a doctor, okay? So let's go, all right? Symptom number 1, memory loss. As in, Donald, do you remember that you appointed Jerome Powell to be chairman of the Federal Reserve in 2018?
I was surprised he was appointed. I was surprised, frankly, that Biden put him in.
Memory loss, check, okay? He's stealing Biden's whole flow, word for word, bar for bar, okay?
The crowd did not get that joke, but that comes from, actually it comes from The Breakfast Club, which Charlemagne is on, and it comes from when they were interviewing Soulja Boy. But real quick, before we get to the rest of this, if you don't know who Jerome Powell is, he's the chairman of the Federal Reserve, and they want him to lower interest rates. Trump wants him to lower interest rates to help stimulate the economy. People can borrow money at cheaper interest rates and all that type of stuff, buying homes at cheaper interest rates, and they're refusing to do that. So Trump has been criticizing him a lot in the media. So that's where that comes from. But let's get back into the rest of this clip.
Biden somewhere watching this thinking, where am I? Okay. Next symptom, problems with communication and finding the correct words.
As a linguist, translator, and cryptologic technician.
Check. Okay. Either his brain is malfunctioning or he was getting head beneath the podium, all right? Somebody check and see if Mike Johnson's under there, okay?
All right, real quick. I think that's kind of unfair. When you're talking off the cuff, it's hard to sometimes like remember what it is that the word that you're specifically trying to get, as I just did while I'm trying to explain it. And Charlemagne, he's reading off a teleprompter. So for you to kind of criticize somebody else for fumbling over a word when he may or may not be reading off of something or may not have cue cards to help him, that's kind of unfair, but it is what it is. The point still stands that Trump does have these type of blunders when he's speaking. And because he's older, we take more account of it.
All right, what we got next? Confusion and disorientation.
Mr. President, do the tariff rates change at all on July 9th, or do they change on August 1st?
What are you talking about?
Check. Don't you get it? Trump's tariff policy is 5D chess, and all 5Ds stand for dementia, okay? Let's see how Donald does with coordination and movement control.
It's fun to see it.
I don't get why Trump chose YMCA as his signature song. That dance involves coordination and spelling at the same time. Are you trying to kill this man? Another prominent symptom of dementia is agitation. Let's see the cool head of our president.
Do I have 100%? It's a stupid question.
I think your question is so stupid.
Don't ever say what you said. That's a nasty question. Scum. They're bad people. They're sick. You are a real, you're a terrible reporter. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You are so bad. You're such a bad reporter.
Okay. Well, the bad news is Trump has rage issues. The good news is there's no way he's remembering the nuclear codes. Okay? Now, that's my whole checklist, and I've reached my diagnosis. This guy needs to be put into a retirement home immediately, okay? Yes.
All right, so while that's funny, and I think it's, fairly good criticism of Trump because he's getting up there. We can't say back in the day that Bernie Sanders is getting old and he shouldn't run. We can't say that Biden is old and we're watching the things that he does where he's kind of like not all there. We can't watch that stuff and watch these people and say, oh, well, Trump, there's no concern for him. If he's doing stuff that's kind of off the cuff or it doesn't make sense or he's fumbling over his words or he's tripping, we have to be mindful of that stuff because he's old as shit. At some point, these people are going to pass away. So them being up there and affecting policy of the U.S. when they're not going to be here in the next 30, 40 years to live through the effects of their policy, we have to be mindful of that. But I do want to pull up what Trump said in response to Charlemagne because, of course, Trump does not miss an opportunity to shoot back at the people that criticize him. So let's check that out. Okay, so you had this Instagram post. It says, the very wonderful and talented Laura Trump, who is his daughter-in-law, whose show is a big rating success, put racist sleazebag Charlemagne Tha God. Why is he allowed to use that word God when describing himself? Can anyone imagine the uproar there would be if I used that nickname? He's a low IQ individual, has no idea what words are coming out of his mouth, and knows nothing about me or what I have done. Like just ending 5 wars, including a 31-year bloodbath between the Republic of Congo and Rwanda, where 7 million people died, and there was no end in sight. He didn't know that, or India and Pakistan, or wiping out Iran's nuclear capabilities, or closing the horrendous open border, or creating the greatest economy, where prices and inflation have come way down, and where stupid and corrupt Joe Biden set the record for doing the worst job as president ever. But this dope, Charlemagne, would vote for Sleepy Joe or Kamala. Remember, 1 year ago, our country was dead. Now it's the hottest country anywhere in the world. Make America great again. That's the typical tactic that we see from Trump. If somebody says something about him, he's quick to go on his social media platform, Truth Social, and jump out at them. And I got to say, as the president, there's more important things going on in the world than being worried about what a radio host is saying about you on Comedy Central. But because Trump is sensitive, he pays attention to this type of stuff. He knows just about everything that's going on in media, whether it's being sent to him or he's finding it himself. This dude is always in the mix. He's always online, going directly to his consumer. But let's focus on the actual issues that are going on in this country. And the stuff that Charlemagne pointed out is well within the rights of a citizen to be worried about regarding our president, somebody that is up there in age. So let me know what you guys think. Did you think that Charlemagne's bit on Comedy Central was funny? Did you think it was a waste of time? Do you think Trump should have responded? Because honestly, I don't. I think we need to fix the issues of this country, and that's what he's president for. That's going to come with a lot of criticism from the constituents, which Charlemagne is, regardless of if he's a celebrity or not. At the end of the day, he is a citizen of the United States. He has the right to look at the landscape, look at the president, and criticize what's going on at the White House. You're only 6-7 months in. You got a lot of criticism that's coming your way over the next 3.5 years.